If you've been following along, you'll know that I'm in the middle of installing a new DST 800 transducer from Aramar. So one of the things I needed to do to accomplish this was to have the yard cut the fairing block to the correct angle so that the transducer would shoot straight down. So here it is. The fairing block's been cut, ready to install. I'm going to do a test fitting here and see how we're all lined up. Here we see the top of the fairing block inside the port SETI storage area. We're going to get ready to goop it all up and get her installed. With a little help from the yard, I was able to get this quickly installed. So here you see it all installed, ready to dry. And as you can tell, it's right next to the keel cooler that I installed 2 years ago. With that done, time to move on to the next job. In preparing the windlass for install, it's a multiple step process. First thing you have to do is disassemble the windlass so you can take the long mounting bolts out. These mounting bolts need to be marked so you can determine the thickness of the deck and therefore make a backing plate or spacer so that from the top of the deck where the mounting plate is to the bottom of the windlass where the bolts tighten up has to be exactly 4 inches. With that done, then you take the windlass and the mounting plate up to the boat and install them on the boat. So you can then go below deck and mark the current thickness of the deck. With that known, you subtract that from the 4 inches that you've already marked on the bolt, and that tells you the depth of the plate that you need to have made so that you can space the windlass out below deck. So here we see those computations and a rough outline of the spacer that I'm going to have the yard make so we can go back with help from the yard and mount the windlass up hopefully next week. With the hatches back home, I worked on them in the garage. Here you can see the dog latches and the pressed in pins that need to be removed. Next you'll see the main getting ready to unstep the mast. Here we are with the mezzanine boom down. The main boom is down as well. Next thing on my list is to mark all of the turnbuckles on the rigging with some nice bright red shoe polish. This way when we loosen them up and go back to build the new rigging, we know pretty close to the length of stays that we've got to have. With those items marked off the list, it's time to get back to one of the long-term projects that's still in process. That is getting the hatches rebuilt and reinstalled. Here are the hatches back from Plan B. They removed all the seized roll pins, also removed the remaining 3 broken bolts, and then ran a tap through them, and they welded up some of the cracking connections in there so that we didn't have any problem. These are now ready to run over to get sandblasted. Okay, now after leaving the platers, who said it'd be a lot faster if I run these over to the people that do the sandblasting. They gave me their name and address, so here we are. It looks like it's called Crenshaw Corporation. Got the address, so let's go ahead and get these out of the trunk, run them inside, and see what they say. These are my nice and sandblasted hatches, $45, not a bad deal for doing this work. So now it's off to the platers and see how long that's going to take. Here we are, specialty finishes, where we're going to get them powder coated. Let's go in and see what they have to say. Well, that's it for this week's vlog update. We'd like to thank everybody for stopping in. If you feel so inclined, we'd love to have you hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click that update button so you know when every new vlog comes out, as we tell you what we're working on and how much it costs to get the boat ready to head out for the cruising life. Once again, thanks a lot, folks.